Hello. So, the objective here right now is to solve a guesstimate. We have two cases in front of us. The first one we'll cover right now, and the second one in another video. So, the first one right now is regarding estimating the area of a city. So, this approach you can use while trying to estimate the area of physical space. So, let's say the city in question is Delhi, and you can try a similar approach for other cities when it comes to that. Now, the question is estimate the size of Delhi, not the whole NCR region, which is huge actually, but just Delhi. Now, I would advise you to actually pause the video for about 10 seconds and think of how you can do it. Right. Resuming, I hope you have a strategy in mind. Now, I'll just share my strategy. Okay. So, broadly, most cities have a particular kind of shape. Most of them, actually, that I have seen in India tend to be circular. Now, I'll work with the assumption that Delhi is circular. You might be asked, okay, why you have made this assumption? Then one uh, satisfactory answer that I had to begin with was that Delhi has something called a ring road. So that would suggest that overall the shape of Delhi is circular. All right, makes sense. Now, the next thing is to figure out if you have a landmark physical infrastructure in the city with which you can benchmark your approach. Now, if you think of Delhi, one thing that strikingly comes out is the Delhi Metro. Okay, so we'll see if the Delhi Metro can help us solve this case better. Now, what we'll do is we'll take any one of the line of the Delhi Metro. I am most comfortable with the yellow line, so I'll use that. Now, just take a look at the map of the Delhi Metro here, and with the yellow line, just look at the two extremities. You have Jahangirpuri at one end, and you have Huda city center at the other. I'll wait for a second for you to just look at the map. Now, what we can see is that it's approximately a straight line. In a guesstimate, since we are just looking at approximate figures, so it doesn't really matter, it serves our purpose. So now the next question is if we have to estimate the length of this line. Okay, actually before we go towards that, it's imperative that we share our overall strategy so that the person who is our interviewer does not feel lost. So in this case, our overall strategy would be that since we have identified that Delhi is circular in shape, we can simply use the area formula for a circle, which is pi r square. Now to do that, we need to figure out what the radius of the city would be. So to figure out the radius, what I am doing is I am taking a metro line, assuming it to span the entire diameter of the city, and from that I'll get the radius. Now, so the objective here is to find the diameter of Delhi city. To do that, I am using the yellow line. Now the question in front of us to figure out the length of the yellow line. Now the yellow line actually runs from, as we discussed, one of the extremities that we are considering is Jahangirpuri and the other is Huda city center. Huda city center actually lies in Gurgaon, so maybe we can discount a few stations there. So what is the length of the yellow line? For that we'll basically need two parameters. If you can see, distance is always going to be is equal to speed into time. So as someone who's traveled on the Delhi Metro, you might take a guess, okay, that it takes about an hour and a half to go from, not even hour and a half, probably an hour, to go from Jahangirpuri to, let us say, not Huda city center, but the last station of Delhi. Might be Chhatarpur, might be 2 or 3 stations after that. So that would roughly be an hour. And the average speed of metro, considering that it takes a lot of stops, so the average speed, the maximum speed of metro definitely would be about the maximum speed of a car in Delhi, so 80-90 kilometers. But because it has to make frequent decelerations and acceleration and stops, I would assume, okay, the average speed is roughly around 60 or 50. That's what we can clock. So given the two data points that we have, that the average speed, let us take it to be 50, and the time to be 1 hour, the length of this particular yellow line is approximately 50 kilometers. Given that the length of this diameter that we have right now is 50 kilometers, the radius simply becomes 25 kilometers. And using pi r square, so r square in this case would be 625 kilometers square. Let's assume it to be 600, and then simply multiplying by pi, let us take it to be 3. So the overall area becomes 3 into 600, 1800 kilometers square. Now, if we try to verify this answer, what I have found is that the area of Delhi is roughly 1500 square kilometer, and we have figured it out to be 1800 square kilometer. So we seem to be uh, quite accurate. Okay. Now, so this was just one way in which you can find the area of a city. You can find a similar approach for other cities. You can try for Bombay. Bombay has a elongated shape. You could find the length of any of the tracks of the local train which is parallel to the city to get a sense of the length of the city. But you can use these measures approximately to find area of any city in India or globally. All you have to do is figure out the physical infrastructure parameter. All right. Feel free to discuss with your friends about this video. In the next one, I'll try to see how we can find the area of any country.